Today, we're diving into a fascinating breakthrough in AI. And you know what? It's inspired by a simple habit that you and I do every single day, double-checking our work. It turns out teaching an AI to just think twice might be one of the biggest keys to making it way, way smarter. I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever written a really important email or, finished a tricky math problem, and then you just pause? You take a breath and you read it over one last time. Of course you have. It's just human nature. Well, that exact instinct, that feeling that we should double-check ourselves, maybe catch a mistake, or just find a better way to phrase something, that is precisely what researchers are now teaching large language models. For us, it's just a quick reread. But for an AI, it's a seriously powerful strategy they're calling multi-round thinking. And what's so cool about this is how this very simple, very human act of self-correction is being turned into a legitimate AI superpower. It's the inspiration behind a technique that is getting some really, really impressive results. So what even is multi-round thinking? Well, at its core, it's a method where you ask an AI the same question more than once. But here's the clever part. Each time after the first attempt, you actually show the AI its own previous answer. This kind of forces it to reflect, to reconsider, and hopefully to come up with a much better result the next time around. Now, the whole point of this exercise is to break something that researchers call cognitive inertia. It's basically the AI's tendency to get stuck on its very first idea and just follow that single line of thought all the way to the end, even if there's a mistake right at the beginning. This process is designed to snap it out of that trance. Okay, so we know why they're doing this, but how does an AI actually, reconsider its own work? Let's take a look at the process, which is actually a lot simpler than you might think. So, step one. It starts just like you'd expect. The AI gets a question and spits out its first answer. But then comes round two. The AI gets the exact same question again, but this time it's also shown its own final answer from round one. And this loop can just keep going, getting repeated to push the AI to constantly refine and improve its own work. Now, here is the secret sauce. This is the really clever bit. The AI is shown its previous final answer, yeah? But its original step-by-step logic, how it got there, is completely thrown away. This is what keeps the model from getting stuck in the same rut, forcing it to find a totally fresh way to tackle the problem. And you're not going to believe how simple the prompt is that triggers this whole thing. It's literally just this. The assistant's previous answer is whatever the answer was, and please re-answer. That's it. That one little sentence kicks off this entire powerful self-correction loop. Crazy, right? Which, of course, leads us to the big question. It sounds almost too simple. Does just giving an AI a second chance with a prompt that basic actually make a real, measurable difference in how well it performs? Well, as they say, the proof is in the pudding. Or in this case, the proof is in the data. And the results are showing that this technique doesn't just make the AI better, it makes it bolder too. The numbers here tell a pretty amazing story. So check this out. This is data from the AIME 2024 math competition, which is a notoriously difficult test. You can see a clear jump in accuracy from the first round to the second for both of these AI models. Now, it's not a giant leap, but look, on problems this tough, even a couple of percentage points is a huge deal. But here's where it gets even more interesting. It's not just about getting more answers right. The whole style of the AI's response changes. By thinking it over, it becomes way more decisive. It sounds more confident, and it just gets straight to the point. And how do we know it's more confident? Well, the researchers actually analyzed its language. They found that the use of hesitation words, like but, dropped by a whopping 34%. It just stops arguing with itself. And it's not just the hesitation that disappears. It's the outright uncertainty. The use of words like maybe just plummeted by 33%. It's a clear sign that its reasoning is becoming much more solid. And all of this leads to a really fascinating conclusion. The researchers found a direct link. The more an AI's accuracy improved, the shorter its answers actually became. So as it got more correct and more confident, it also got more concise. No more waffling. So let's step back. What does all of this actually mean for the future of AI? I think we can boil it down to 3 key takeaways. First, this is a beautifully simple idea that's just inspired by how we as humans think. Second, it delivers this amazing triple benefit: better accuracy, more confidence, and shorter, clearer answers. And maybe the most important part, it's an incredibly efficient way to upgrade an AI. You don't need any expensive, time-consuming retraining. You just have to ask the question in a smarter way. So in the end, what this really shows us is that a better answer might not always come from a bigger, more complex AI. Maybe it comes from an AI that has the wisdom to just pause and think twice. The only price we have to pay for this smarter, more confident AI is a little bit more of our patience. And it really makes you wonder, what other simple human ideas are we overlooking in this big race to build better and better technology?